let's talk about how conflict can help us grow as an individual.
So, our spouse may share things with us that nobody else would dare say to us.
Nobody else would tell you, don't wear that jacket with those pants,
That's right.
but your wife.
Nobody else would say, "Did you know that came across as a little harsh?"
That's right. There's many things that I know I personally experienced that I overlooked in my own personal growth and walk with the Lord that once we got married, Rhonda shared with me that I had overlooked and things I needed to change.
And so, if we can hear the heart of our spouse, they're going to be able to share things with us that fine tune us together. But the impact of that is it fine tunes us as we're interacting with other people.
That's right. It's so valuable. Let your wife read over that email before you send it.
Or talk with your husband about how to make your conversations a little more concise and to the point.
That's right. There's many, many different ways that we can depend and lean on our spouse to help see things from a different viewpoint.
Right. And we need this. Have you ever seen somebody that was difficult to interact with, or they always had a derogatory comment in response?
Yeah, these are all personal skills that we are learning interacting with our spouse that are going to help us and they're going to translate over into our other relationships.
It actually can prepare us for ministry, because if we're not doing things that would offend the spouse on this deepest of relationships, we also are less likely to do things that would be offensive to other people.
You know, there's no other relationship on earth that you are going to have that's going to be as close and intimate as in your marriage.
Right. And so we need to allow our spouse to point out areas of improvement. Or is there anything that you see about me that I could work on?
Wow, that's just a blank check right there. We need to put out the welcome mat, so to speak, for our spouse to be able to feel like they can talk to us about any areas of improvement that we may need.
And that means making a safe environment so our spouse feels like we're not going to just wrestle them to the floor or slap them in the face or fight them down because they bothered to share something that I could improve.
Yeah, if every time your spouse brings up something to improve, you go away like a whipped puppy with your tail tucked between your legs, that's
They're not
going to
keep coming back.
Right, because you're not receiving that as something that's helpful, that you're going to grow and improve by.
Because we could get mad, we could get sad, and any of those negative responses don't welcome the spouse to come back and say the next thing to us.
Or if we reply back to our spouse, well, if you would change this.
Right.
That's right. If we like tit for tat.
And the thing is, my negative response to Sean is not okay just because I felt he unintentionally responded to me in a bad way.
Yeah.
Neither one are okay.
Yeah.
And we need to be able to hear that about ourselves.
You know, we could present something in a harsh way that needs to be toned down and corrected a little bit, but there's still the heart of the message there that we need to look past the packaging to be able to see what's being said.
And the thing is, it makes us stay aware of where we really are in the relationship. We hate to be deceived and think, my spouse is okay with me. Other people are okay with me. When really, everything is falling apart around us and people are just being kind.
Yeah, this can be a really truthful coming awareness that we can have.
Yeah.
This is where the relationship is. Here's something that really has to stop, or our relationship is coming to a standstill.
And if we really believe that our relationship with our family members is part of the ministry that God has put us into, then we have to say, my spouse then is also ministering to me in God's stead, and I need to be able to hear that lest I miss a message from God.
That's true. So many times God will use our spouse to say something to us, maybe that it was hard for us to hear.
And sometimes we're not going to agree on what's being presented to us by our spouse.
That's right. You know, we need to be able to say, you know, I'll prayerfully consider that, or I'll seriously consider what you're saying.
Right.
This is something many times that when we would have a conversation, I might not agree with what Rhonda presented, and I might be quick to shoot it down, and then she doesn't feel heard or understood.
Right. But when we say, I'll prayerfully consider that, or let me pray about that, thank you for sharing that. We can be grateful that our spouse would share that information. But that doesn't mean we have to agree. But we can connect with our spouse on what is shared and then take it before the Lord. This makes our spouse feel heard and like what was shared was important to me.
We don't need to have the mentality of wanting ourselves to be surrounded by yes men.
Right. We need to be able to have people in our lives who can speak truth in love to us.
Our differences are actually a blessing and not a curse.
Right, because the things that we see from different angles, from different facets, different perspectives, all contribute to who we are and to our uniqueness as a couple.
So many times we're pushing against the information our spouse is presenting that comes from a different angle and a different vantage point, and we think it's against us.
But actually, these things are things that God can use for iron to sharpen iron and to make us a better person.